Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream as we have put an end to our round of 16 for Europe, but we still have one more match to go, and it is the first of our quarterfinals, G2 against Orglis. Fluke, we've seen both these teams play in this competition. Yes. What are we expecting?
Well, probably a bit of battle, I think. Obviously, if we kind of look at the history of these teams, yes, statistically, G2 have massive history of winning, world champions, all the stories that I'm sure you're all aware of. But at the same time, we've also seen them in their first round against Existence. They didn't quite have the performance I think we expected.
Yeah, I kind of feel as if they were slacking, weren't they?
Yeah, let's jump into the map bans and have a quick look. I'm going to assume that Border and Coast are going to be the two banned off in G2 and Orglis tradition, but I could be wrong because here's a fun fact. You can assume G2 have a lot of knowledge about Orglis and vice versa, which maybe they didn't have on Existence.
Well, Orglis has a lot more information being shown throughout Challenge League, where they did finish 4th, so at least they secure themselves and they don't have to go back into being a tier 3 team. So that, you know, Orglis I thought had an alright season. They managed to survive, which was arguably one of the toughest ones we've had so far, and now they're looking to try and make their way in for the OGA pit. But they hit a massive roadblock in the form of G2, who we know they are full on gunning for this spot to go to the LAN.
Yeah, Clubhouse is the lesser seen ban there, excuse me, from the side of G2. Sorry, I'm just choking.
It's fine, you go, bro. I'll take over, don't worry. So, Fluke's dying. So looks like you're stuck with me, guys. So unfortunate for everybody out there, it's just gonna be me. Unlucky.
Oh, I'm back to life.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Chat, you're saved. You are rescued. But bans come in. Club gone from G2 and Coastline for Orglis. And straight away, G2 in with the Villa. So that just kind of says that they are looking to get this really firmly in their grasp.
Yeah, so that's the thing. These are two response picks based on it. Because G2, as I said, they're probably going to pick Border. They almost always ban Border, even they almost always ban Border. And Orglis has gone, well, Border's on the table, that's ours. However, Orglis' second ban is almost always Villa. So G2 have gone, wow, Villa, they hate that, let's go there. So this is two maps where they know that the other team isn't as strong on, or at least has a habit and a history of banning them. In the same time G2 took off Clubhouse, they opened it with last week, they played it quite a lot. And there is the follow-up ban on Bank from Orglis, who they played it on last week, and it was a very close game against Trust. It came down to the wire, it was 8-7, and they probably don't want to try and repeat that. In the meantime, G2 take off Consulate, so Cafe is our final one. Both teams enjoy Cafe.
Talking about Trust, they played Orglis in the final week, and Orglis 7-0'd them on Cafe specifically. So there is that little thing where Cafe, or Villa, has just been played by Orglis. They don't really, like, you know, they don't really hide anything if you're going out with 7-0. It just means that you put everything into that. I kind of feel as if the Border pick really suits Orglis, because that is like one of their better maps this season where they've had really good results on. They've played a lot. And Border is a map that G2 play a whole lot either. That's not really one of their suited maps.
Well, let's see how it starts off in Italy first, as we head into the hills of Villa to already find Maverick off the table, instantly taken away. And obviously, as we said, this is two teams that know each other. Not only, obviously, because they've got more footage on each other, but you've got to look at the history. You've got to look at the fact that KS is on the side of Orglis. And for those who are familiar with their Siege history, know that he has been a player for and alongside some of these boys in past life.
Indeed. And of course, also Orglis being a past Pro League team last season as well. Unfortunately, fell out of Challenger League and still didn't make it into relegation. So we didn't see Team Seeker or Orglis, the two teams that did fall out last season. They did not make it into the top 2. Instead, it was kind of expected. BDS and Fours both making it in there. And, well, BDS and Fours, they did like tie with 33 points each, but it's the fact that BDS has the tiebreaker over them that they just outright won the league. So
yeah, and obviously they've, you know, they're up against playing Penta and CC. They're not easy games either way. It's the thing about this region is it's always stacked. It's always tough. It's never easy. So, you know, good luck to those guys. But they're, you know, they're doing their prep and they'll see how it comes together. Obviously, Mira now taken out of a Villa as well, kind of restricts things like quad wall and that kind of site control, and Pulse as well, which for me is a very clever ban. on this map. If you put a pulse down below in, say, reading room or the library kind of area, if you put it down in kitchen when you're holding the trophy point, there's just so many places as a potential to be able to keep control and force time away. And especially with how deep the roam can be on this map and how far away the roamers can get, it kind of, you know, it makes sense.
So, attack first for G2, and Orglis, they will have their first AVG locked and loaded. We did see a glimpse of a Lion being chosen there by G2, but Simpson has been picked off. I wonder if we'll see the 6th pick onto the Lion, and if they do go for it, then they're going to try and get things really cooking in the first couple of rounds, but no, the shield will be pulled out by Pengu. He's a known shield player for his Blitz and Montagna plays, and generally in Villa we've seen him play more of the Blitz kind of route. That would be his main operator and kind of go-to thing that he has going for him, but instead he wants to try and take a lot more slower, and Montagna is similar to Clash, and it's kind of the same walking information that the attackers get, and there isn't a whole lot of attackers that can gain information. It kind of focuses on destructibility if you're an attacker and some ways of killing defenders. You know, if you look at kind of operators that can provide information, you have what, Dokkaebi, you have Lion, you have Jackal, and then Montagna obviously kind of being a walking one, but it's like not like a gadget kind of utility, it's just him not being able to be killed.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about it, and especially how, obviously said, the kind of skill set that Pengu can bring to this operator is one that, you know, I'm curious to see how much kind of ground and how direct they are with him, whether they go for more of a flat clear and push him across the top, or how they want to pretty much, you know, get inside and get involved with that Monty. But the Echo is going to set himself up in the corners. It's rarer to see Echo played a lot on this map, normally gets banned out quite a lot. I think we've generally seen him banned almost every time we've visited Villa this time round. But it also, you know, Maestro is still on the table as well, which is a huge operator and a huge gun and skill set, especially when you're trying to keep control of 90. Here is a bit of a pacey push coming across this southeast balcony side as they want to try and get their way in straight away. They obviously, there is an Echo there that can give the information and hit the back of the Monty if it proves too much of a problem against the Mozzie dug in at the top of the stairs. But otherwise, the crossfire and crossfights from the top of landing will make this a bit of a tricky pickle to get in and out of anyway. They have Fabian bringing the hard destruction and is going to swap the diffuser over to probably and potentially take the point and try and find the way in, but there's always the worry of someone playing underneath, which is a problem you've got to deal with sooner rather than later. We can see the man off in the distance at the bottom of the landing stairs.
This is information being gathered by Pengu, and I wonder if the execute will come in from G2. Goga and Kanto pushing in from below, and there's the C4 that hits right onto Uno, and Kanto now also fights towards the corridor, and Rips has been down. There's KS, who does get eliminated by the great pincer maneuver that they had going for them, and even Pengu finishes off the downed Echo, and G2, they've set them up nicely. As long as that hard breach is still alive and well, they have so much potential of actually getting into the bomb site and trying to prioritize the diffuser going in.
Yeah, from this point, the work that they've already done means that it's a bit of a tight battle here, and they've got to double down. But the amount of ground and the amount of ability to push in, especially dropping the Echo that early, it was a great moment for KS to be able to get the C4 kill before the inevitable happened, but in the same time, it was a very coordinated close down from G2, and they still have over a minute left to be able to finish the second step. They know that there's probably going to be a long angle held, but this is the job of the Monty, and you can see him squared off there to protect the corner and protect the planter, as Cryan has no option but to try and rotate and find an alternate angle. Prano has the ability to throw down the smokes and offer some cover, and you can see the man trying to creep around the side, but there is the body of Goga watching from the corner. So, well, I was going to say even if he dies, but he doesn't, they have that early information. And at this point, it's just a coordinated pincer from one side, I say, as they find two bodies against it, and another one. Suddenly, a 1 versus 1. All the time in the world left for Fabian to make something of this, but great play from the pair of surviving Orglis players to at least pull it together.
Has went for the plant, and the man that's trying to swing on in, but Fabian holding firm, and he clutches up when it needs to be, and just making sure the crouch is always working. You always need the crouch, don't you? Making sure that works.
Sometimes it becomes a bit of a sticky key.
It is, just making sure everything's rocking and rolling. And, well, G2, very slow, very coordinated, and they only took from one side of the map, solely coming in from study and main stairs, and that's all they took, nothing else.
Yeah, they kind of created a pocket of air for themselves and then kept breathing in and amongst it. They let the Monty lead and become the front of the bubble, and then from that point onwards, they just utilized that to crack in enough of a hole onto the point that they wanted, and they had to force the cover to rotate round. Obviously, good work from the IQ of Goga to pick up the first frag, and did close down and get dropped in the initial firefight, and it was a good rotation there from Bandit to be able to realize, well, that's the back of the bubble popped, now I can at least try and find a way around. In the meantime, the crossfire that happened onside the point to drop the Monty and then drop Kanto and leave it as just Fabian pickup was exceptional work from the bodies inside, but unfortunately G2 were just able to kind of pull it together. You can obviously see now, KS has opted for the Legion to slow the roll of the Monty, and that is a direct counter pick.
They're going to play the exact same way, but changing up an operator. So off the Mozzie, onto the Legion. He had struggled with that Montagne. Can't really do much against it. You know, even though those C4s can illuminate enemies, Montagne, he has reduced explosive damage. So C4s don't really affect him unless you get him from behind or from below. Other than that, he can just stand there and eat up everything you throw at him. But Goo Mines is going to be the big bane of the existence for many shields. You have to, of course, do an animation where you take it out of your foot. He also has to unextend to do so. It's just a real nuisance of an operator that shields have to go through. But perhaps that's why they are still bringing IQ to also assist with Legion Mines. Of course, like the main objective for IQ is looking for the Echo drones, but that's a nice little added bonus that Goga gets to bring.
Rips holding the corner of the angle with the Echo drones that we saw, as he said, get some use and add down, or double down on the angles that you can hold. In the meantime, you can see Cryan has rotated a bit further off and just kind of keep a bit of a wider hold on this landing side and maybe just wait for a potentially more diverse push, as Draven is not too far away, just putting up a bit of pressure towards the trophy side. In the meantime, G2 going for a more similar push as they did last time with Kanto and Uno taking control of the bottom alongside a little bit of a split push from the IQ of Goga. But it's so far slow and steady, and I think that's the kind of playstyle that G2 want to lean into for now on their attacks, because they know how precious taking an attack on Villa is.
First Goo Mine will hit Pengu along with a bunch of Echo disorientating bursts from his Yokai drone, and also a couple of impacts being tossed at him. But he's still alive, so he is a menace. Also has smokes, which could be handy for the site execution, but already the HP for Pengu leads me to believe that we're not even going to see him be able to use those, as there you go. KS eliminates Pengu, Kantarakeri trying to give the cover, and still see more people pushing down from Orglis, and I'm not entirely sure what's happened to G2 there. They've just kind of crumbled and fell apart at the seams, and that is simply down to the Goo Mines that Legion can bring. That's crazy that one operator just made that entire difference.
Yeah, but you also see how much attention they stacked on getting the opening frag now. The Echo drones were pinging off at the same time. There was so much and so aggressively that at that point it was just a matter of, well, respond with all the aggression onto where they pushed, see if they do the same thing again, and they have, and well, it's completely fallen apart. Fabian at least manages to find Cryan on the far side and has alerted immediate impressions that he is over here. And you can see them trying to rotate back through the point. There is the Echo suffering as well. The space of Fabian is slowly getting slimmer. However, we see the bodies pushing towards landing, and we see the one on the square quad wall. It's just a matter of seeing if they can close down on him. At this point, Fabian has a lot of different options that they can swing from and manage to find another one. Bring it to a 1 versus 1 in a triple kill scenario. The other body is far away. You're going to try and push the plant down, and KS might not be able to hear it, but it's going to rotate round. The sound of the barbed wire is going to give off the immediate peak, but yet again, we're in a post plant, and Fabian has found himself in this position where he might be able to clutch it, but no! So close to greatness there, Fabian, yet again, but KS able to get the kill.
A nice try from Fabian. But KS wins those 1v1s, and, well, that's a 1v1 right there. Fabian versus KS. You love to see it, Fluke.
Classic. It's a classic showdown.
Unbelievable. KS, well, he gets his own back. And now, Orglis, they do respond with a win on their AVG. That locks out that bomb site. Now they have to opt for their trophy, I think would be the next one coming. And yes, it will be. That is the second favored bomb site for many teams. I wonder if we're still going to see this shield from G2, knowing that it's a different bomb site. Looks to be the Pengu's still going to stick with it, but this time around, KS is not bringing the Legion. He's going back to the Mozzie, which I do question, because those Goo Mines really hurt Pengu.
Unless it's a sick. They still haven't fully locked in. They're going to sick off the Nomads to the sledge.
There you go.
There it is.
That's better.
I think they were waiting to see if the Monty was going to show up. Because the thing about G2 is they're a very good tactical team. They can bring one strategy to one point and a completely different strategy to a different point and make them work both as effectively. So I think they were testing the water, being like, are they going to try a Monty on this again? Well, you might pick off him, but we're going to play safe and bring Lesion, because as we saw, very effective. So I guess the original lineup we saw there from August was their A point, their A setup, and they went, oh no, we can't do that. We've got to respond to G2, otherwise we'll just, well, suffer what we suffered the first round.
Sledge pick is interesting from Uno. Sledge doesn't really do anything in this bomb site. There's no verticality that he can try and use and abuse. It's not as if you bring a Buck where he can go below and play the reverse angles. I'm guessing it's just a comfort pick, I want to say, for the gun usage. Since Thatcher is banned, you know, he probably would have wanted to go on that operator. But then it might be another cover in case Maestro ever does rear his head. Because yes, we know that there is the Sophia to get rid of the Maestro cameras. Once the Sophia gets taken out, you want to try and have a backup, or else those Evil Eyes do become a big issue. So Orgel's setting up in towards their trophy statuary, nothing really too crazy. Well, they do have a bit of an extension towards the main stairs. They have an Echo Drone supporting KS and accompanied by his goo mines. And, well, as long as Lesion has those goo mines up, Pengu always has to watch his footing. Full extension towards that trophy, or AVG, for a trophy statuary. It's not uncommon, but it can be risky and very, very prone to a quick rush in from G2.
Well, Kanto's trying to get control of the Astro side, drop the main camera and just make it a little bit more uncomfortable for the defenders to hold. At this point, a lot of droning going down, and there's, well, two drones from different houses spotting each other as the Echo drone and a standard drone meet each other, and the standard drone watches the beautiful Echo drone drift away and find a rooftop somewhere as Rips holds more angles and gets more information on the potential cover. Pengu, I say, but that's not who I intended to, because Pengu actually got a Lesion mine in when he tried to hop in. Instead, we swapped to Fabian, who finds a firefight almost immediately, and put a lot of bullets and a lot of damage into the Bandit, as Pengu now has actually crept in. He's hopped in, took a Lesion, hopped out, and hopped back in now, and he's able to rotate all the way up to the door, get some information, see the blood before, as the Echo drone swings off, and you can see more Lesions being thrown and more information being caked this way, but Pengu doesn't need to push any further. He is able to let Fabian just get this wall cracked open now, and they have their angles through onto site.
They did have Uno stationed below, and that was in case there was a fear of the Bandit trying to trick out, of course, that main wall, and he can just simply nade them from below. Sophia Chargers try to get pushed in, but they will be beaten up by the ADS. Now they know that Jaeger off-site, and honestly, I'm just expecting G2 to try and walk on in and basically Pengu to smoke off and go for the old turtle plant where he puts the shield on the back.
Yeah, they can obviously see how much ground they've got, and this is what G2 are very, very good at. Even in and amongst this bomb point themselves, they're able to just creep closer and closer and take more and more ground as they need to. The Echo drone causing a bit of a fear for Pengu, who has the diffuser, but it's actually, again, just going to creep further and further forward. He's looking for the drone, and he sees it in the corner, but now he's got himself, as you said, in a nice turtle plant position. Gonna try and dig it in, but KS and Goga find bodies, as well as Rips, who finds another one, and Goga finds another one. Rips accidentally kills KS in and amongst the kind of controversy going on, but there goes Goga. And now it's just a 2 versus 2. And no, it's not. He hard pushes against the Monty, and now it's just Kanto versus a Smoke and an Echo with only 15 seconds on.
Real lack of communication there from G2. It looked to be a very simple plant for Pengu, of course, to go for the shield in the back. And now it's just a lockout for Orgeless. Even in the midst of the chaos with the TK onto KS, they have still pulled away with the round. Oh, that's a real head scratcher, and something that you never expect from G2 is a lack of communication and teamwork. That should have been so simple. One thing that I kind of question is, why didn't Pengu use his smoke grenades?
Yeah, I mean, what it seemed like there was they were like, go for the plant, we've got you covered, and then suddenly all the land slipped through their fingers. They just didn't really have any of the protection they wanted.
That was on Kanto, simply because he was holding the doorway that Echo killed Pengu from, but whenever Smoke killed Goga, Kanto immediately fixated his eyes towards the smoke, which allowed that little gap of Echo to push around. If Kanto did stick with the clear line of sight that he had onto Echo, things could have turned out differently, but then we probably think that Smoke would have picked up the kill nonetheless. It's a tough one, really, to see for G2 play out, but Orgless, credit to them, with their positioning and their communication themselves, being able to use their utility, and Echo really came in clutch.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously you look at the operators that Orgless always tends to have alive at the end as well, and it's a good selection of people. However, they're going to have to opt for the off point at this point, and we're going to head down to the kitchen, and we'll see if they can make it work here. They've still got the Legion to deal with the Montaigne when he shows up, and they've also obviously got the Smoke as well. The first change we're seeing is the Echoes being taken out of this equation, doubling down on the Valk and the Mozzie for that more kind of portable and flat information rather than the limited but, well, exceptionally useful against plant style of Echo, and the Castle as well.
Yeah, Castle can be a nice addition to the kitchen defense, specifically to Castle of Pantry Door, to stop any potential rush that G2 could try and go for. Also assist in your top floor hold, but it's Orgless. They will try an attempt. G2 still picking a very similar lineup. The only one that's kind of switched has been Uno. He's kind of been, you know, on the sledge, for example, and kind of off of that as well. But for the most part, that's Thermite, Sophia, IQ, and Montagne has always stayed the same. They're still going with the shield play, and I know that Pengu is a great shield player. We've seen him prove that time and time again. I just wonder if you would set him on like his normal operator, like Abana. You know, would that give them a little bit more of an oomph where the guy actually has a gun? Because we know Pengu, he is, in my eyes, still the best player in the world with everything that he has done in his career. Nobody can touch him and nobody can come close to what he's achieved. He still has an insane amount of aim behind him. And why don't we give him the Type 89, just start popping heads?
Well, they're going for the flat clear here. They've otherwise completely ignored the top floor just for now as they make sure that the reading room side is clear. They're still sticking with the Monty and trying to find a way to, well, make it stick to the point, but Prano has control of above, has a lot of sightlines down with Cryan doubling up just on the shoulder of the landing side, waiting for someone to swing a little bit closer around. Cryan, an exceptional player who so far hasn't been able to drift into this game as much as, say, KS, but it's only really a matter of time with, to be fair, any of these guys in this game. Goga, in the meantime, has suffered a huge chunk of damage playing against this Astro window, worried about potentially, obviously, the castle that was above, but now puts him in risk of so many operators back towards the point. The side of a C4, the Legion in the foot, or the smoke canisters can really just bring an end to his life very quickly, so the IQ is going to have to play it a little bit more cautiously than maybe he previously wanted. In the meantime, Fabian has crept all the way up from the wine side, and Uno just, well, lets the Valkyrie drift on by.
Opens up pantry wall. So now for Orgless, they have to be aware that G2 could be on for simply walking into the bomb site. Most of them have kind of separated themselves from the rest of the team. You can see a clear split between the roamers and the anchors. Kanto opens up with the first blood for G2, and surely that has to mean good things on the horizon for them. Open up the castle barricade, and another one for Kanto. They will start to get fired upon from above, as there's still those pesky roamers holding that trophy statuary. Fabian, no drones, okay. And there's Prano, also hops on the train of it, and that's a free-on-free. But G2, they are in the bomb site towards A.
Well, KS still has that
no
control
way!
of Astro, and Prano has control of Pengu as he drops the shields from behind, who is busy messing around with shields, and they've completely rotated back to the top, and now it is just Uno versus the world, who's inside, but without the lack of clear above, it is literally shooting fish in a barrel at this point. Orgless put another round between them and G2, and now have the buffer of 2.
Wow. 3 rounds on the bounce for Orgless. I don't know if it's the shield strategy that has just ran out of gas for G2, and I think that they need to just completely leave that and just go with what they know works, and it's given Pengu an actual gun, and straight onto the F2 he goes. He's fed up now, Fluke.
I'm kind of happy. The thing is, I'm kind of happy to see it because, yeah, it worked the first time round and it worked very well. They created that bubble, but every single round afterwards, it's just been a great response from Orgless to get all the way around it. They're also leaving the tracks and the treads in front of it as well, so it can't get any of the ground that it wanted to and previously had the ability to. And yet G2 still tried it time and time again.
As soon as that first Montagne came in, Orgless knew, right, we are bringing at least 3 operators that deal with shields. They have the Echo, the Smoke, and the Legion all make quick work of shields. We have seen it work time and time again. Legion worked to charm the second time, Echo on the third one, and even that Smoke being able to sanction him off. What more can you say? They picked the best lineup they can to still hold the site and also deal with a very strong operator. So, for G2, they've completely sacked off Montagna, and now we will see the Twitch. Twitch isn't going to really do much in terms of the gadget. You know, Mira's banned, there's already one of the big counters gone. I think it's just for the fragging potential with the F2 that you get is more or less the real reason why we're seeing him on this operator.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you kind of called for the Habana, but this is another one that can kind of fit that meld of, well, they have an amazing set of guns, and with someone with the gun skill and game sense of Pengu, well, it can just completely swing around. You have the option of those Twitch drones, and that might be able to do a little bit against, say, some of the electrics that they're bringing, or, well, anything else that you might be able to spot and zap, but in the meantime, it's the guns that are going to be turning what was maybe one of the most passive ops, if not the most passive op on your attacks, to one of the potentially most aggressive ops. In the meantime, they've spread out their push here. Cryan and Dreven are on the far side, waiting for the push from Meeting, and it's being droned ahead by Fabian, who is ready to feed this information to the bodies holding onto Astro. It's gonna be quick, as Uno suffers the first death against Draven, and now it's just a matter of seeing if they can capitalize upon this, because the entire push so far is coming across flat from the opposite side.
And as soon as that frag came in, Orgless just all retreat. They take what they can get, and they will try and play the advantage game now. They have that man up. Doesn't have C4 though. Instead, barbed wire, which hasn't been placed, which is concerning. Why is he not placed at barbed wire? And there's Rips, who has been phenomenal on this Echo this game. Just wide swings 90 and picks off Kanto. So the two Finns gone for G2, and now it's the same old story where they basically they're relying on Fabian the clutch 1v5s.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's not the greatest strategy to rely on, is any of the kind of clutch stuff. And it just, you know, it's been a really, really good takedown by Orgless on this Villa so far. Everything they've kind of responded to and reacted to well. Yes, it is a map that favors defense, but they're doing it very, very convincingly. And G2 are just kind of struggling to find the instant responses that it seems like Orgless are happy to thrive in. Creeping around against this and seeing if they can find a quick way through onto point, and finds Echo. There's the second body behind the bar, and they're having a bit of a battle, but there is Fabian, yet again finding himself in a double kill. In the meantime, Cryan drops Goga on the far side and puts it down to a 1 versus 2. But the sliver of anything at this point will drop Fabian, even if he gets too close to the bandit wall, so he's just going to try and take this a little bit steadily. Goes for the plant, maybe doesn't know that, well, doesn't know that either of them are that close. Tries to stick it, but Orgless 4-1.
Wow. Just so decisive. The way that Orgless are toying with G2, they're kind of just baiting them into everything they have set up. Question for me is, Goga, is he really using his gadget to the way it should be played? Because I'm looking at him, and he's just trying to entry on with a 5-5-2. We've seen him die very early on without having little to no impact. Why isn't he constantly hunting for the Echo drones? That has been a big part, I feel, for Orgless and their information. They haven't had to take a Maestro because Echo's there, and they feel as if that suits them a lot better. Uno? Oh no.
Yeah, Uno's not having the best one so far, obviously, for a guy that can get huge numbers on the frags, going 0 to 5 and struggling to kind of really even find a graze against a defender isn't great, really. And you've got to try and find a way where that can maybe... It's the balance there, it's the cover, it's why is he managing to be picked across first every single time. Goga is obviously, he's setting up for cover a lot of the times. He's being the back of a rotation to try and trap in, as we saw on the very first and the only round win from the side of G2, but otherwise it's not really come to fruition. Pengu is opting for a different op this time again, going to bring the Jackal and see if they can keep a bit more of a stricter control of the defenders and don't allow them the freewheeling freedom that they've otherwise enjoyed pretty aggressively so far, but we're going to opt for Trophy on the last attack from G2 before they swap to defense, and, well, they've got to try and get this one, I think.
I know that we speculated about the whole Goga and Fabian switching roles, because it used to be Fabian more in the kind of flex, and Goga was always in the hard support. I feel as if lack of drones has kind of changed hands for G2. Goga was always known for, as soon as he gets in, he just sits on a drone the whole time, because he's Firmite. They don't let him push anything. Is that the correct decision, though? You know, is the fact that, you know, Goga doesn't have to leave fully drone now, is that like a big issue? Because he has had to kind of fill in, like if Uno and Kanto fall behind, he's been that next man up, where it usually was Fabian. Is that perhaps something that we're kind of seeing with this new lineup from G2?
Well, Pengu is trying to apply the pressure with the Jackal, and obviously they've done some immediate pushback here. It's definitely come into their favor a little bit with this pace, and I guess it's down to see if August can respond, because this is much more aggressive than the previous strategies, especially we saw on this point. Rips is having to hold on with the Echo, as Prano is just going to, well, be Chrono on the far side of Astro, keep the angle, and make sure they can kind of lock it down as Fabian starts to crack in to the main point via bedroom. Again, just under 2 minutes still on the clock, and there is a lot already done by G2 when compared to previous. And this constant pressure and danger from the Jackal is just going to be a big part as, yeah, Fabian instantly locks off and gets a reward from it.
I like this push a lot better from G2 simply because they have Pengu on the observatory window. That's like the big thing for me. The fact that they have that crossfire now established alleviates a lot of pressure for the main people pushing in towards that, as we do see one of them already in and goes straight on his belly, and there's an Echo drone being eliminated, and everybody from Orclus now, they've been forced off site and they're trying to hold it from the main hallways. Astronomy now clearly in possession of G2, but how can they execute onto it? They have eliminated one Echo drone. I don't know if any more are going to be lurking. There probably is one inside of a bomb site, and that's down to Goga to get rid of that. KS does fall. Fabian he's been tucked away in statuary this whole time. Kanto does frag out, but there's still a quick amount of refrags coming in, and it's a 2v2. Rip still firing on all cylinders with the MP5. Tries to peek around. Goga now looking for the plant. Oh, and there's the kill. Now it's just down to Goga. He has to try and clutch a 1v2. Once again, Rips has been on top of everybody this game. There's the final Echo drone being taken out by Goga, so no information for Orglis, but they still have all control of everything.
Well, Goga on a fraction of health is just going to see if he can find anything to lead the way in, but there's always the danger of just more traps, and, well, it's not even that which he falls to, it was the cover. As we go 5-1 on the turn of the half, Orglis have consistently looked in control of this so far.
They have really impressed me with their defense, their coordination, the fact that they managed to hold off an entire trophy statuary attack without actually being on the bomb site baffles me. How does that happen? I really don't know. It's so back and forth between the kills, but yet every little bit of an inch goes in favor of Orglis.
I think that's one of the best things we've seen from them as well, is they're so quick to react. We obviously saw them at that point. They'd been pushed so far back off the point. They had no bodies apart from KS, who had somehow found a little corner to hide in, but otherwise they were holding long angles. And when push came to shove, they were able to aggressively find their way back through what should have been a very clean hold from G2. Aviator and Games we're going to swap to for the first G2 hold, and they do say Villa is defender-sided, but G2 still have a lot of work they've got to do here.
I'm just kind of imagining Fabian saying the famous quote that he kind of had at Invitational 2018. Do you guys want to lose? That should be their mentality right now. Fluke, do you think they want to lose?
I doubt it.
This is everything for G2. You know, this is one of two chances for them to get pushed in to an invite spot. They didn't win at Rallies, they didn't get it there. Didn't get the Pro League finals. There is not a lot of hope. You know, even failing at DreamHack Montreal, the Shaiko, and BDS, there is a lot of things that have kind of went wrong for G2 kind of in the past 3 months. You know, they looked as if they were going to make an unthinkable pullback in Pro League. Didn't happen for them. Na'Vi being the real big hurdle in their way that they just couldn't get past. But, you know, G2, even in their Pro League, that second half, it was really strong from them. And now to see this, and Orglis, who had an okay season in Challenger League, to be pulling a 5-1, and it's not even like a lucky 5-1. They've looked really good against G2, who have also looked, in times, really strong with their kind of setups, but it's the final execution that G2, they're slipping up on every single time.
Well, they start to try and close down. Now, obviously, this is a much less aggressive hold in terms of the stairs and the way around it than we saw from Auglis, but they do have the body underneath. KS is running around with the Jackal, trying to find footprints, and might be able to put some pressure underneath this soft floor as they creep closer and closer to the side of Pengu. The flashes come out, and Pengu does suffer, but is able to rotate through to freedom and just pull back a little so they don't lose their life as Sappphire just guns down the shield and makes this a bit of an easier path. They fire the second one round just to see if it pings off immediately to know if somebody's around the corner, and if it had have gone off, they might have been able to quickly respond, but for now it's just a matter of trying to get this wall open and get themselves the early information as they go for the long angle. Uno is going to try and take up residence in 90 corner and gun down against Cryan.
With no Thatcher, it does make these quad walls a lot more easier for defense to kind of sit back and don't have to worry about the Thermite coming in. The only way you can get rid of that is either go below or a quick nade over the top, which has hit its target. And that wall is now being opened up by Auglis. So Pengu has to be... Oh, the impact trick, never mind. It never actually got opened up. I was about to say Pengu, he's in for a world of hurt, but he's still alive and well. And was that a bandit trick as well?
It was a bandit trick as well.
G2, they have completely denied access to that quad wall, and it has to be around for them.
Well, Pengu's going to try and hold the close angle, and for a minute clock, we have every single player on the board. We've seen Jackal not really have too much of an impact on this point so far, and with how laid back the G2 players have been, probably won't have for the rest of the round. The smoke is going to buy some more time on this corner, as Kanto is putting immediate pressure against the man trying to take up a holiday on it, and it is Cryan even. Rips, in the meantime, has taken a huge amount of damage against the top of stairs from Pengu, but Cryan is trying to alleviate some of that and make it a bit more uncomfortable by getting control of 90, waiting for Kanto to make a bit of a slip-up and a mistake here, but he's a hard player to make a mistake as he swings and finds the firefight around pillars. The Dance of Death goes off, and so far Kanto is exceptionally injured, but he's done enough to stem the tide, and with 20 seconds, he knows that this player has to play into his hands, is waiting as Rips is able to open up the frags against the smoke on the far side. The pings are coming out saying, well, I can't swing in yet, we need you guys to push up, but he's also holding Kanto at bay, but Fabian doesn't care. Holds off the main door, finds one, Goga finds the second over the shoulder, and Fabian finds another, has to swing in at this point, because they are all that is left, but it does not come to fruition. 5-2.
Just not being able to open up the reinforced walls has really cost Auglis that round. Whenever you don't have access into the bomb site via the breach, you only can push in through doorways, and then you just clump up, and it's just so simple for so many different operators to sit back, relax, and, you know, smokes are being tossed in, it just, you can't get past that. A Maestro inside a vault with the LMG set up, ready to gun. It doesn't work well. So well played by G2 to make that impact trick, and also the bandit trick. I have to give credit to Fabian, who had a blinder around there, and now they push on to their trophy and statuary. So a good start for G2, but we need to see a lot more of them.
Well, Goga swapping to the Echo. When we talk about traditional Goga roles, this is definitely one that ticks that box, so potentially going to go back to old laurels. In the meantime, Jackal swapped out for Dakabi, a bit more of an active, kind of aggressive information gathering game, and I think that will play a little bit better. Previously, Jackal didn't really find any feet, unfortunately, and the way that G2 were playing quite defensively, quite locked off and anchored to the rest of the world means that, yeah, Jackal can cause some issues, but not the ones that they needed to be caused.
So we'll see now how G2 will fare with their trophy statuary. They're not opting to go for the bandit. Instead, Kaid is their play of choice, probably because this particular triple wall is a lot more simpler for like a buck to go below and open up beneath you and just simply kill you if you try and go for a bandit trick. So Kaid gives you that more safety where you can throw a range, and whenever there is no Thatcher on the board for Auglis because it's banned, there's not much they really can do about that. Also, impact tricking, I'm sure, is going to be another option that they may want to try and achieve. They too, just like Auglis, will have an extension towards trophy from Trophy Statuary towards AVG. And the reason why they're trying to kind of, I think, go for the AVG is to try and gain a little bit something back from Auglis, trying to stop that momentum early on, make Auglis really work for these attacks. And while Villa, yes, is kind of swaying in favor of defenders 9 times out of 10, I still think attackers have a lot of things going for them. If you can eliminate some of the great utility operators right off the rip with an extension hold, that can do you well leading into the later game.
Well, the drone game is coming out for Auglis so far. They're trying to get a bit more active information, and the Mozzies are so far at least keeping them off the base of point, but they're allowed to enter via meeting, and they know that they're going to find this as a firefight. However, if we look at the previous state and slate of how G2 tried to hold the last point, it was off point. Fabian is going to get up and aggressive against that door and drop Cryan before he even begins to start doing, well, whatever it is he wanted to do, and is going to keep this wall under lock and key, saying, this is my turf, don't you dare even look at it. Goga, in the meantime, has set down on Astro, and the rest are going to hold the long firefights from the landing side, and I guess we'll see if Auglis can, well, battle against those firefights the same way they are able to when they are on the flip side of them.
Looking to enter in towards Master Bedroom, so pretty standard for Auglis. The only issue now that they have is those Electro Claws, and there's no way they can get through it with that Thatcher ban. And losing also Cryan, who had this set of nades, that could be tricky. I imagine Chaos, yeah, he also does have nades as well, so it's not all lost for them, but it's still going to be tricky enough. Nade gets cooked over, and, well, honestly, Fabian needs to watch himself, because he's in really low HP, but that misses from KS, unfortunately, for him. And Fabian's still alive and well, and as long as he's kicking away, oh, there we go. He's dead, he's gone. I speak too soon.
Well, the wall gets blown, as obviously the Kaid is out of the table and isn't able to Kaid that. The calls go off from KS, as we said, they're leaning towards a more kind of aggressive information game, and that might be able to sync up with the rest of the attackers to push in, but a well-timed smoke canister at least keeps them just a little bit at bay and buys some more health and time for the side of Goga. Uno, in the meantime, is trying to creep up around the back stairs and find someone via Astro and put a little bit of damage that way, and with 40 seconds left, the more damage that can lead that side, the better, because at this point, Auglis don't really have the time to go for a big rotate. Rip's holding an angle and making sure they keep the long sight, but in the meantime, Goga isn't letting anybody get close to Astro.
That shield that G2 have placed is now the massive thing that Auglis cannot get past. It gives a direct line of sight right into the breach, and well, now KS, see if you can put on a show for us. Does eliminate Goga, but has to get through Uno and Kanto to make this a success. Doesn't have to fuse her either, and well, I know that. There's still those Echoes, I'm sure, lurking around. There's no IQ from Auglis to try and take care of that, trying to push for the kill, but both of them, they're spread out well enough. And the Finns, they make it work.
I like how we saw them just both run. Just both of them in the background.
Yes, that's the play. They know they have information.
And then he was just like, oh, hello.
Yeah, just, hi, what are you doing down here? You're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be in the site.
This is where we're playing hide and seek. Wrong game mode, guys. But G2, they make the gap ever smaller. However, now they've got to opt for the third point. This is the, obviously, standardly the toughest point to hold on to, and the way they attacked it was the least impressive attack ground they had out of all of them. It was almost a little bit short-sighted when they completely forgo the top control, and that completely shut down upon them. So you're kind of hoping they get a little bit more creative with this, and they bring a clash to the party.
Auglis know that it will be the third bomb site of choice, and it could have been a living room for all we know. Easily, G2 could have something like that up their sleeve, but that's still going to be a bottom floor defense. Not a basement, because there is no bomb site in basement, but that mid floor. You have the buck, you have the sledge, the vertical control will always be in your favor if you have those operators. Instead, going to six pick off the buck onto the Capitao. I'm curious to see why they would go for that. Perhaps just for the sake of it. But then if you're baiting out like a six pick, wouldn't you bring like a blitz or something to kind of throw them off? Just something like that, no?
I mean, I guess it's one of the balances here, because it's all research, it's checks and balances, and that's always a thing against a team like G2, especially on a map like Villa, where you have that level of prestige, and you want to be sure on what you're attacking against. And there are times where, yes, you're on a 5-1, and the book has got you to the 5-1. Your knowledge of the team has got you to the 5-1. At what point do you throw away the book and try and come up with an ult?
5 seconds remaining.
Capitao has actually been a really good operator, though, for Auglis this season. They have had some excellent site executions down to that specific operator, and definitely one that they do favor, which even if we look towards, like, border, that could be one G2 would like to try and pressure away. I would suppose that would be their kind of idea, is to eliminate a big operator that they know that Auglis, there is VOD review, of course, for border, that I'm sure Shas and Sua have both done. And they realize that if Capitao's like a big say in that map, it's probably going to be banned away.
Well, Pengu is just going to try and hold off the wall, not with the same aggression as before, but you don't need to. You do have to keep this top floor. However, they're trying to find their way in against the Elysian as well, as they, well, at least hop into the walk-in closet and then again hop out again. it's a hot closet. It's a hot place to get into. They found their way against this Astro wall. Going to grenade the shield out and see if they can push the body not long after. But with 4 bodies upstairs, well, for G2 kind of forgoing this, Auglis are well aware of the ground they've got to take up here.
Echo Drone will be supporting these roamers, and all of Auglis now piling in towards bedroom. And this Echo Drone will be able to give all of that information. They know the one's located inside of the shower, another one also in bedroom, so both Echo Drones being used to try and assist with this roam hold. And there's the C4 that gets leashed by Uno, and there's Pengu also picks off KS, and G2 now in the defense. They look 10 times stronger than what their attacks were.
Doesn't see the Nomad on the window, but doesn't care as Pengu drifts and drive-bys Draven, and Fabian in the meantime gets dropped by Cryan on the far side. Creeps in and finds a Pengu on the bedroom, and he was not happy about being spied upon and drops another body inside there. Now it is just Rips battling against this window and battling against, well, a lot of people that are just trying to protect the decency of the Penguin, trying to get changed and go to sleep. In the meantime, the flash are being thrown out and the Nomad charges too, but with the diffuser in the middle of the room, well, there's only really one way you can go, and unfortunately, that is not a good way. 5-4. And that 1 round berth that G2 got at the very beginning of this game is starting to look oh so sweet.
'Tis indeed. Now we go back for the full rotation for G2 as they've just won 3 in a row, and now AVG is unlocked for them. Is it just a matter of fact of both of these teams are really strong in defense, or both of their attacks are really lackluster? I think it's the attacks. The attacks have not looked good from both sides.
It looked a bit low energy from both sides. Obviously, you know, you always talk about Villa being sided one way or the other. The thing about this is, obviously, this is, I believe, the 2nd time we've seen Villa, and I can double check this actually with my stats if I turn to the right page in my notebook. But it's statistically defender favored is this map and is this kind of point and play style, and that's the thing, is what we're seeing is very much that. The last time we saw it, it was actually more rounds went into the favor of the defense, but only by 1. It was 5 defense rounds and 4 attack rounds to make it a 7-3 if maths comes together. 7-2 even, that's how maths works. You know, which kind of shows that it was at least a bit of a balance, but that was against 2 more lopsided teams. However, this is 2 more balanced teams. This is a quarterfinal, and this is G2 versus Auglis, as we said. 2 teams that know each other, and they know each other well. They've battled in Pro League, they've battled in multiple different forms and formats and formations. They've even battled together as rosters in the past, and you know, it's kind of leading in a little bit. Those are the games where map facts matter more, because that's more likely what you're going to see. When teams are more evenly matched, when teams know each other, that's when those map facts of this is X-sided, this is Y-sided come through.
Whenever you do play against people that you know, it's always a little bit of kind of an ego trip sometimes, isn't it? Saying, oh, play for the bragging rights. But there is a lot more to play for here, of course, because there's the invite line, which... That's like the main thing that everybody is always looking for. Yes, there's a cash prize, but really, booking your way to Montreal is the ultimate goal. And you have to win this matchup to get 1 step closer for either G2 or Auglis, because it's still up in the air. Auglis having that 1-round lead, but looks to be still at, you know, G2. They have their kind of mojo flowing.
Well, Cryan is trying to hold the long angle as... I believe it's a sound bug in the game that we're suffering at the minute, but Echo's drone may have fixed that. I guess we'll see how this continues. Otherwise, we're having a little bit of a weird...
Have we been mute jammered?
I think we've all been collectively mute jammered at this point, and I'm wondering if the players might have been as well, or if it's just the spectators.
I'm pretty sure spectator.
Well, here comes the firefight. We see Rips drop Fabian. This is like watching a black and white film.
Do we do the gun noises?
This is where you need Toldesma, who did that for a CS that one time. You need this in chat, guys. You guys fill in all the rest of the sounds, please. And then we'll just try and break down what's happening for you.
KS now lurking on main stairs, tries to creep his way up, but there is still a lot in his way. The smoke and Jaeger combo, and even, like, you look at the positioning of the smoke. Just ready to gun. Pengu is in it to win it right now, and, well, since that kind of sloppy shield that didn't do him a lot of effort, definitely that smoke is now well suited as the rotate comes in, and oh no, they've killed Cryan, and then the nade killed Prano. That's hilarious. And Pengu even adds on to one more, and G2, they look as if they're going to pull this back from a 5-1 deficit into a 5-5 fluke.
I like how we get the silent movie round because of the audio, and at the same time we're getting those silent movie shenanigans of slipping on a banana peel and dropping a frag grenade, everyone's favorite Charlie Chaplin bit. Rips is now trying to apply pressure from the far side. They've obviously doubled down with the SAPPHIRE, but they're up against an Echo and a Smoke and a Kanto on a Jaeger, so it's not an easy push to close this down because just in utility alone, that's a worrying thing to try and close down against. The last smoke canister does pop off on the far side, and for now, Echo's just going to try and hold the long angle and try and catch the man as he swings into the door. But with 20 seconds, he's got to do it sooner rather than later. Is dancing and deliberating with the decision, but is going to pop the charge, try and stun Goga, who just moves back a foot, and then now is finally going to enter the room and then gets dropped immediately. On the far side, you see Rips is creeping in, but he can't quite find the doorway, and Pengu is going to show it to him.
They've pulled it back. They've done it. And I really hope that now that Mute it's just wearing off now, I really hope that Thatcher's managed to come in and EMP it.
I still hear it.
I still hear it as well.
I guess we're just going to have to play the rest of this like this.
This is no bueno.
This is no bueno. But to be fair, at least it hasn't happened to the players. We hope. We assume it hasn't happened to the players.
No, it's definitely an observer thing.
Because, you know, they suffer enough. And we only suffer some of the times.
Like, you can still hear, like, the counter, but...
You get, like, 1 or 2 sounds.
You do, but
This is a weird experience. Maybe we've just been flashbanged as well. Trophy statuary, we're going to opt to. Obviously, this was a pretty clean hold from them previously. I guess we'll see if they can replicate that. Now they have found and crawled their way all the way back to match point. Well, technically, it's only up from here. Again, that 1-round berth that they got at the very, very first round of this game has really come together. There's some gun sounds. Clean my ears out and start to hear shotguns.
It's still there, though. Are we sure it's definitely the game? I'm pretty sure it is definitely the game, yeah?
It's definitely the game, because that's the sound file of the mute job.
Yeah.
Maybe we've just played and listened to too much Siege.
Are we just tripping right now?
Like tinnitus, but Siegitis.
Exactly. But anywho, we move into Trophy Statuary once more for G2. Don't tell me they're going to go 7-5. Are they really going to pull a 6-0 and just say, well, Orglis, you had a good half, a nice 5-1 for you. Anything you can do, we can do better.
Yeah, I think that's generally the way they're setting themselves up for at this point, and they've looked so comfortable on these defenses. But at the same time, we said the same thing about Orglis on their defenses. They look comfortable, they look confident, and I guess we'll see who is able to take the first bit of ground on this time round. Either way, we're obviously looking at, you know, max round standard time, and if Orglis can not find this one, then they still got the option to rotate down to the kitchen below, and I'm curious to see if they can find another way to work. Instantly, they're slightly diversifying their push against this side. Before, they threw everyone via that main bedroom, and now they've at least put one body on the back foot and backside to be able to pick them off, and there goes the first. Draven finds Fabian, and Kanto finds Cryan.
Okay, so that is the Electroclaws off the table. So it should mean Orglis have a better way of actually entering in towards that top floor, but they haven't brought the Thermite. Instead, they've opted for the Habana. Curious to why they've went for that, whenever clearly having the Thermite in this situation would be 10 times better to create that massive opening breach. On his belly, Kanto tries to get back in towards the bomb site. So you can see that really both teams, in their offside kind of roamer defenses, they have been very excellent at like coming back to site whenever they kind of like get one pick. They're very smart to say, okay, we take that, we'll take that with us, and we'll try and hold it down.
Well, Pengu is just going to throw a canister against the door, not pop it quite yet, as they're trying to get over the top wall and throw everything they can at it and make sure they try and get the quad open. But with Kanto's gun not far behind and Draven on a fraction of health, You know, this is the second time they've gone against this, and Kaid has been the first off, so it's always a little bit of a tough spot. Uno, still below, has used the Nitro, but obviously still has the shotgun to be able to at least make it slightly uncomfortable for them. Isn't going to try and gun the Habana pellets, I say, as he starts gunning the Habana pellets and makes that an uncomfortable push. There is no one there to quickly react, and at this point, that is, I believe, all the hard destruction off. Uno has done his job underneath and is going to rotate back ground as Kanto suffers a huge amount of damage and is lucky to get off with his life as Pengu's looking to kind of replicate what he did last time.
And there's really no way that I think Orgless can get in unless they try and prone towards that very, very left-hand side panel there. So it will be tough now for Orgless to really get things on the board and get it flowing. Pengu still tucked away inside of Statuary with really nobody contesting him. No more Toxic Babes though, but does have the SMG-11 and shotgun combo. Peeks around, he knows there's one at his doorway. And still two more people on the reinforcements trying to look for any picks they can, and here it comes from Orgless. They flooded the bomb site, Uno does respond, and Goga, oh no, he gets caught out by himself, and just down to Uno Meister. Creeps in towards the bathroom, and there is the Sophia, who just barely gets away with that. And IQ finishes it off, and it's not the dream for G2. It's the dream for Orgless as they go map point now against G2.
Well, they've pulled themselves into a position, and that was a very important round to win because I guess either way we're seeing total points either way, but it asserts a little bit of dominance against G2. G2 are going to opt to rotate to dining room kitchen anyway. They're going to try a different point through and through, and I guess we'll see if this can work, because to be fair, Orgless are probably expecting them to go back to the top floor, and they're swinging around almost every single operator they can, crying, and they end the Wheel of Fortune on a sledge, but there's always the option of sixth picking, so I guess we'll see if they can find a way to go through, and yet again we find ourselves saying, well, that one round win is such a big, big part.
Yeah, that gives Orgless the safety of knowing that they, of course, have match point, so it puts a lot more pressure on G2. But even if they do lose that round, it's not over yet. They have the overtime to go through. But then, to be fair, in that scenario, if I'm not mistaken, it would be G2 in the defense first.
I never
Pretty sure that's how that works. And then the attack will go to Orgless. But still we'll have to get through round number 12 to get through this one kitchen defense. Last time for G2, they set up very freely towards the top floor. I like the setup that they had with the Echo, where they had two of them, one inside of bedroom, one inside of bathroom, and the information that was gathered to be relayed to the man with the C4 below, that worked a charm, and it just kind of picked Orgless off one by one. They've completely missed that strategy now. They've sacked off the Echo, and they've went for a full lineup of two speeds. A lot of C4s, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about it, is obviously we saw them get a bit aggressive with the C4s before. It looks like, obviously, with the Valk, they want to get even more aggressive. I'm really curious what Uno's attempting here and what's going to come. Sounds like it was just the throwing out of the camera, however, and no swings and peaks come together. But in the meantime, Orgless, they're going for the flat clear with Cryan taking the back side of it. They have operators to crack open the top of this. They have the sledge, they have the buck, they have all the soft destruction they really need, as well as the IQ to take care of any of the potential drones and cameras, but there is more to doing it than, well, just that. They find themselves steadily clearing and cleansing the outside towards this top Astro push.
Rips is looking for any electronic gadgets, primarily the Echo drone, which did cause them a lot of issues during the last time they had to attack kitchen. But it is different circumstances, as Echo is not going to be brought. Still a similar setup to what G2 had going for them last time. I really like that Pengu is playing aggressive smoke, because he's feeling himself right now. He has that vibe going for him. And whenever he's on top of his game fluke, the man's a machine.
Yeah. Fabian is going to try and creep around and offer a little bit of support against the Astro thing. And double down with the English weapon set that, as you said, Pengu is flirting very aggressively with against the bedroom on the opposite side. And that's a kind of big dream team to try and stop against. And the longer that they can hold this top floor control, the more of a nightmare it's going to be for Orgless. In the meantime, they've suffered shoulders of damage on either side, and they're trying to crack their way in via the ground floor. But hey, we saw how that worked when G2 tried it, and it does not work very well. You have to get a little bit more of the aggressive top hold. You have to do more to unseat the bodies inside the point, and currently it's just, well, pretty chill for those upstairs.
A lot of verticality as well being played by G2, so they do have that comfort of, if they try and go for a quick rush, they will have that coordination of the vertical hole. So Orglis there really backed up into a corner. With 1 minute to go, they don't have a lot of rotation potential as well. Rips does eliminate Pengu, so that's the first blood, and has alleviated at least some pressure away from the defense towards the top floor. Fabian still lurking as a mute now. He's rotated downstairs and has took up arms in that corridor. Kanto has now pushed his way into Statuary, same position that Pengu was at, and we'll have this 1v1 against Rips, which honestly could decide the kind of point of this game. And, well, he does eliminate the IQ and has opened up the hatch in towards Laundry, and the man's on the drone, but he's just barely missed him. Here comes the flank from Fabian. Oh, he's managed to squeeze his way past everybody. Has the shotgun, another one for the Emperor, and now it's a 2v3 Orglis. What's happened to them? They've fallen apart.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Well, they almost find another one there, and I'm not really sure how they did it. Draven finds one, and Prano at least gets the cover over, and Kanto gets Draven. So now it's a 2 versus 1 with Prano on very low health against 2 bodies inside. Rotates around the back, and the Lesion, with the spooky headgear, at least pushes this to OT.
So we go the full way. Both sides taking a 5-1 split in defense, and we don't see that every day, Fluke. That has been a very long time since I've seen a Villa play out like that. It's very similar to like the old, old kind of meta last year whenever Villa first came out. We've seen a lot of defender-sided things come in, but kind of over time, I think the attackers have really nailed down the attacks. Not that much though, not so far. They have looked really weak, both sides. I'm not just saying Orglis, they looked pretty bad on the attack as well, but G2 really struggling also.
Yeah, 12 rounds, only 2 going to the attack, kind of just shows how this game has swung and is, I guess, going to continue to keep swinging. I've forgotten what silence was.
Yeah, honestly, I've just gotten used to it at this stage.
Yeah.
I don't even notice the mute jammer now.
The thing is, there's been occasional points where I've noticed it disappear. It's like, hey, welcome to this third caster that we've got. It is a mute jammer.
I'm telling you, it's because Thatcher's been banned. That's why it's happened.
Yeah, mute has become too powerful. He's found his way into the studio. And please, he's really... I don't know what you spam to get rid of a mute from a studio.
Guys, get a copy pasta about the mute jammers. Please do something to...
Spam this something to get rid of mute. I don't know.
Just,
you guys
are good with that, yeah. So G2, they get the defense first, which I thought they were going to have.
That is a big, big swing. That's so much pressure now on Orglis to take this first round, because if they don't, and G2 get the burster of being able to do an attack and then a defense, that puts them in a nice place. So I guess we're going to see if they can obviously find a way to make it work. G2 bringing the clash here on this point for the first time. They're going to be a bit active in how they're going to try and slow it down. Obviously, Uno is now taking up the mantle of the Kaid to be able to stop this, and it looks like they're getting very aggressive with the hold that they want to do against it.
I'm just really intrigued to know what Orglis have planned, because they have brought the Buck in, which was an operator that they didn't really seem to stick with. You know, we've seen that kind of being brought, but then sick pick for some weird reason. And on this bomb site, they should expect the AVG. Why bring the double soft destruction? That's a little bit intriguing. Yes, we know that KS can utilize the Skeleton Key and go below where typically the quad wall would be. And whenever we see an AVG be held by G2 with a bandit, for example, it makes a lot of sense that they would look to try and clear that mid floor. And whenever the drones are being dished out in this fashion, I do think they'll try and take control of mid floor, use the Buck, use the Skeleton Key. But there's no bandit this time from G2. They went for the Kaid. They've actually left the wall soft.
Yeah, that's what I said and what I kind of hinted at when we saw them shotgunning open the bottoms. They're being very, very aggressive with this. They're putting a lot of faith and a lot of trust in the hold of the Clash across the top to make sure that that ground inside is very uncomfortable. Rips, in the meantime, is creeping and steadily clearing from underneath, able to take out anything that they need to IQ, and they're just going to kind of trust this staircase to Fabian to be able to rotate and pull back and slow their roll as they try and get any momentum. But it is the aggression and the fear of the man behind the shield wall that is going to attempt to stem the flow. The smoke canisters pop off towards the door and they stop them instantly getting in, but at this point I guess it's making sure that, well, they don't get so aggressive, and this could be big as they crack the window and pre-fire, and there is damage dealt either way, but most of it falls against, well, actually, Javen in the meantime, as Goga suffers a fair chunk, but KS has battled against this clash and found himself on the bad side of it.
So now for G2, They have wasted a lot of utility from Orgless and haven't really dished out that much themselves. Kess is only just starting to buck open below Pengu, and with a minute to go, Wall not really being opened by the Hibana because that Electroclaw is still there. This makes things really difficult for Orgless. They have to try and push against the Clash, which is never going to be an easy feat, and plays as that roaming mirror window that can provide active intel for the remaining defenders, and I'm sure we'll probably be seeing, as soon as Clash walks out of the corridor, sees somebody come, we will see a wide swing from another defender. That's kind of the norm that they have for Clash.
Well, Clash is slowing anything that they attempt to break down. It looks like they're not even going to try it anymore. With 30 seconds, they have to try and break their way to point, and that is going to come on the opposite side. KS is underneath, still trying to pressure the Clash that's just holding this angle down by themselves at this point. And with only 15 seconds and every operator still on the board, Orgless have to make movements. Finally, someone goes down. It's Goga on the far side, and Pengu's going to offer cover against the sledge. As the sledge goes down, Uno finds another one, and Kaid just charges around the side and gets 3-4 for his troubles.
Finally, Uno has woken up on the defense. I think he went like 0-6 on his half. And then the first defense that he gets, apart from... Oh wait, no, on the attack, should I say. It was the attack he had the really weak one on. Yep. And now he's just turned up immensely. He went 0-6 in the first 6 rounds, and now he's just woken up.
Wow. Orgless, you find yourself on AVG, you're on defense, you're in a position to at least take, theoretically, one.
Mute Jammer's still here, by the way.
I know, it hasn't gone yet.
Still here.
Technically, it's the 3 minutes,
oh.
So...
it's just like a bee's going inside of the system, isn't it? That's what it's like.
This is a punishment for a crime that I don't know if is worth the punishment. Never invite Mute to cast. That's what we've learnt. I don't know who would be worse to invite to cast from the operators. DeKB probably. It's just phones keep going off all the time. That's always irritating in a studio.
Who would be... Maybe Tachanka, because he just keeps shouting all the time.
Everything would be
it's
like
just everything.
180 decibels.
Yeah.
Of
just
like
burst your
loud,
eardrums.
But everything would be really
Who would
high.
be a good caster? I think Bandit would be very good, because he has a nice, soothing, relaxing voice. And
if he can keep his
attention,
attention
he's done some stuff in his time. You know,
yeah, if he can keep his attention on the game, sure.
He's had to kill people. He's had to do drugs.
Echo would be a bit too sleepy, I think.
He's had to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm sure casting could probably fit into that as well.
Echo would keep looking at his phone. He wouldn't pay attention to the cast. Like me. Setting themselves up now. OT match point, but they are attacking, and, well, traditionally did not go so well. Aviator was the 1 point they took, and they took it with a different strategy. They're not rolling with the Monty this time. They're going to opt for something a little bit more destructive, and Pengu on an Ash is definitely a sign of that. From the first time they took it as a Monty to the second time they potentially can take it as an Ash, it shows the different pace. And, you know, I guess we'll see how this kind of swings around.
Okay, G2, can you do what you never really had before, and that's a good attack? We'll start to approach, surprisingly from the bedroom side, looking to hunt the guys in towards Trophy and Statuary. And they've done this before, but last time, Orgless, they had the upper hand in that battle and actually won their 1v1s. And then very quickly, Orgless, as soon as they do win these gunfights, they just rotate right back into the bomb site. Cryan does pick up one, and there's Pengu, actually. He's on the Ash now. He's ready to go insane. Oh, and Bandit's just going for the peek, and he gives himself away. The master of the upside down repel. You don't peek this man whenever he's in that position. And Orgless, I feel as if you may have just thrown your chances at taking the first map.
Yeah, that is... It's a questionable decision that has kind of not worked out. We saw both these teams playing with these ideas of being able to pull stuff apart, and it's just kind of broken down almost instantly. And now it's just a matter of trying to find their way to close in. Pengu is just holding the angle and waiting for more aggression, potentially expecting Orgless to, well, we've already lost 2. If we can throw one more and we're able to find something, and you know, it's just not paid off. Cryan and an Echo drone are rotating around, see if they can offer some cover, but there is the guns revealing that Pengu is still there. Fast motion and fast dangerous kind of come together now, and it's a matter of trying to get in. There is the spray on the corner. Cryan brings it back to a balance and takes Kanto out. They still have the hard destruction on the table. They have Pengu as well, bringing some soft and aggression, and they're going to crack open Gunvolt as Prano is going to ping it out, but Cryin and Rips have to move a little bit closer at this point.
Orgless, this is where moments are made to try and hold this down and give yourself, yet again, another chance. So now, G2, they're pretty spread out. Pengu is sent to rotate it from West Window over towards the start of Study, and will try and push in. He knows exactly what he's hunting for, and it is the man. And that's another Ash charge, and actually downs Rips. He's been killed to a breaching round. That's just happened. And there you go, Pengu, a quad kill. Prano, all down to yourself. How can you hold your nerve? Will you give Pengu the ace? Yes, you will. The Penguin is here. The Penguin is now in Pengu. Oh my word. G2, they were 5-1 down if you've just tuned in, and they've just won 8-6.
Wow. How do you think that went? Mute? Oh, fascinating.
Oh wow, that's really good analysis.
Really good analysis there. No, it was a tighter game than I think any of us expected. 3 rounds going to attack over the entire game. We haven't seen a single one so swayed to such a favor, but we'll find out on the next map.
Predict the outcome, win the game. Get live coverage and schedules for your favorite tournaments. Analyze, predict, and vote to gain points. Compete with other esports fans and climb the leaderboards. Strafe, everything esports. Download now on iOS and Android.